Hello everyone. God, I've had this video on the back burner for way too long. First off, I hope you are all doing well. Today I'd like to talk about the Peaky Blinders, a Netflix TV series that's been on my radar for many years now, but I've been woefully ignorant of this diamond hidden in the mud. As a short synopsis, Peaky Blinders is a fictional crime drama about the life of the Shelby family based in Birmingham, England. They are at the center of a gang known as the Peaky Blinders. The series begins in the year 1919 in the aftermath of World War I, where the Shelbys begin to build the foundation of their gangster empire. It's a gritty cinematic experience that's filled with violence, coarse language, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and a whole lot of alcohol. But underlining all of that scheming and corruption, you will find surprisingly nuanced character development with a fair share of melancholy and tragedy. You will bear witness to incredibly stressful situations for the Peaky Blinders to resolve, and the complications continue to arise as the pressure builds and builds and builds up to this breaking point. It makes for an exhilarating, intense drama. The first thing that needs to be highlighted is the powerhouse performances from most of the cast. This is one hell of an ensemble cast we have here. I won't go over everyone, but I will highlight some of the most significant characters. The boss of the Peaky Blinders is Tommy Shelby, played by Cillian Murphy in a career-defining role as a scheming criminal mastermind. I think most of us recognize him for his supporting roles in Christopher Nolan films, for which he did a great job in those rather minor roles. That, and perhaps 28 Days Later, which is an excellent zombie film. In fact, maybe even the best zombie film of all time. Anyway, nothing could have prepared me for this ruthless performance as Tommy Shelby. He has unwavering willpower and sports quicksilver thinking. There's also a fair amount of emotional depth hidden deep within his soul. Cillian Murphy did a remarkable job here as an actor, and I look forward to seeing him in Christopher Nolan's next film, Oppenheimer, which comes out sometime next year. Heavy topic for cinema, and I'm looking forward to see what they bring to the table. The second most notable character in the series will be Aunt Polly, who is played by Helen McCrory. Most of you will likely recognize her from the Harry Potter films as Draco Malfoy's mother, Narcissa Black. Anyway, she gives a stupendous performance. She's easily my favorite character in the series. It's heartbreaking to know that she passed away in April 2021 due to breast cancer. She was 52 years old. May she rest in peace. And finally, there's Arthur Shelby, the oldest brother among the Shelbys. Now, this is a character that has one hell of a troubled soul and has quite a tragic narrative arc throughout the entire series. Paul Anderson gives a heartfelt and powerful performance in this incredibly damaged man. The series includes a host of wonderful performances from famous actors in supporting roles, such as Sam Neill, who plays the role of Chief Inspector, looking into the affairs of the Peaky Blinders under the orders of none other than Winston Churchill. There's also Tom Hardy, who has an incredibly memorable role as Alfie Solomons. And then there's Adrian Brody. I won't spoil any further, but I thought he was a very interesting casting choice for the character he played. Nice. Beyond the characters, I think much of the artistic quality comes from the incredibly grounded realization of the locations and of their history. I particularly love everything we learned about the gypsy culture and their superstitions. Anyway, the sets are beautifully constructed and properly represent the poverty of the people who live there. The costumes have received equal attention to detail, of course. There's also some nice progression in the variety of locations in later seasons, though of course I won't spoil the fun of discovering that for you. Truly, there isn't one aspect of the series' visual fidelity that hasn't received the same acute treatment. The lighting, makeup, gore, and the sound, they're all realized to a fantastic degree. And speaking of sound, one of the most outstanding elements in Peaky Blinders is the soundtrack. It has an absolute fire soundtrack. There isn't a single episode that doesn't feature at least one earth-scorching banger. And I gotta say, I absolutely love how they integrate the hard rock and punk rock aesthetics into a timeline that clearly has never heard such music before. I feel that it perfectly emulates just how forward-thinking the Peaky Blinders are and how much of an unstoppable force they are becoming. Honestly, some of the moments just make you want to get up and kick down a fucking door. Additionally, I adored all the love they have for PG Harvey in this series. They've used so many of her songs to great effect, and it totally reignited my love for her music. To Bring You My Love in particular was all over season 2, and I love how they use it. Perfect implementation. And beyond PJ, I think one of my favorite musical moments was in the final moments of season 3, where they used Radiohead's Life in a Glass House from their Amnesiac album. It was glorious, and the cinematography was equally poignant. Finally, I genuinely don't understand how any of these characters survived beyond season 2. I've seen so much alcohol drunk and so many cigarettes smoked, I feel like I've been secondhand smoking along with the Shelbys through my TV. If I do have any complaints, I feel like some character arcs are much weaker than others. Obviously, I won't go into detail to avoid spoilers, but essentially some arcs start in nowhere and end in an unsatisfying way. Others start out extremely promising, but don't progress in a particularly appealing way. And I don't mean that it goes against my better judgment morally. Shit, most of what happens in this series is as far away from my moral landscape as could possibly be. I'm really talking about it as a narrative execution. We'll see if my perspective on this changes with a future season, should such a thing happen, or that supposed film that is in the works that would supposedly come out in theaters sometime in 2024. We'll see until then. Bottom line, this video is for all the chumps like me who took way too long to get around to watching this series. For years now, I've had a handful of friends recommending me to watch this thing, and for whatever reason, the stars just never aligned and I just kept sleeping on it. So, to all those friends, I apologize to you guys. You were right. I really should have listened to you sooner. In any case, do yourselves a favor and go check it out if you're remotely interested. Now, if I were held at gunpoint, my gut feeling would average out the entire 6-season series at an 8.5 out of 10. These review scores, of course, are totally subjective, so take it with a small grain of salt. But truly, this is a most respectable achievement in television series. I highly recommend it. So yeah, I was extremely late to this party, but as they say, better late than never. As always, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you soon.